Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to talk to you about what it's like to be a musician in pain and 3 crucial steps that any musician experiencing pain needs to pay attention to. So I'm fortunate. I am not in pain as a musician, but I have experienced pain in the past, and I'm all too aware as an Alexander Technique teacher how many musicians are suffering for their art unnecessarily. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jennifer Roig-Francolí. I'm the creator of the Art of Freedom for Musicians. I help musicians overcome mental and physical blockages to their next level of success and joy in music making. Every week I'm here talking on a different topic related to musicians. And because there are so many musicians in pain, I want to talk about that today. And if you're not a member of my free Facebook group, please come on over and join. It is the Musicians Mind Body Practice Tribe. Here is the link so you can find me really easily. I actually chose the topic for today's talk because I've had so many musicians join my Facebook group recently who are in pain. When people join my group, I ask some questions to find out what they're most interested in. And among the top things that people are interested in is pain, along with muscular tension, performance anxiety, other negative thinking, thoughts that get in the way, self-sabotaging thoughts. And actually, these things are often related to physical pain. So I want to say hello to everybody who's coming on here. Right now I see Angel is here. Hello, Angel. And if you're watching the replay, please just say hi as you come on, and do not hesitate to ask me any questions or to share your experiences here. We will also be following up the conversation after this video in my Facebook group. So if you think of anything else you want to add later, feel free to come over to the group and post in there anything that you're thinking about related to the topic. Okay? So without any further ado, I want to give you my 3 crucial steps for musicians in pain. And the very first thing that actually isn't the first step is to really check out with your doctor first if you're in serious pain. However, I think a lot of times people are in pain from overuse and also without really being connected to what's going on in their bodies over time. And so overuse and kind of a mindless way of moving can contribute to physical pain as well as emotional pain. It's actually very much connected. It's pretty impossible to be in physical pain without having it affect your mood and how you're thinking about what you're doing, and vice versa. It's very hard to not have some sort of a physical correspondence to negative thinking or a down mood emotionally. So the mind and the body and our moods are like one thing, because really it's all about the self, okay? So talking to your doctor is something I would always recommend if you're in extreme pain, but really it's also I would suggest that you take things with a grain of salt if you go down the medical route. And I actually suggest that you wait unless, there are a lot of other things that you can do before going to the doctor that can prevent you from having to, need the doctor. But it's always very good to have a professional opinion to just give you information about anything that may be physically seriously wrong. So that's the caveat that I want to start with. I don't intend any of my advice to be really as a substitute for medical diagnosis for sure, or medical advice. That said, the 3 crucial steps you must take if you're in pain. Number 1 is you need to stop what you're doing. That may seem obvious, but you'd be surprised perhaps how many musicians experience pain and push through it. And there's the old saying, no pain, no gain, but really for musicians, and maybe not even for anybody, this is not a good idea. You do not want to risk your career by playing around with what you're doing to your body on a daily basis. If you are playing gigs for hours, day after day after day, and you're doing it kind of mindlessly, not really aware of how your mood and your thoughts are affecting your physical body, then you're kind of driving your body like with the brakes on almost. You're kind of forcing yourself and fighting against yourself, and you're likely to make whatever's going wrong in your body worse. And by the way, if you don't have pain, this is the best way to create pain. So everything that I teach here is from the perspective of the Alexander technique and my experience as a professional musician, having worked for decades with professional musicians. And I've seen all too often how musicians are more concerned about not missing a gig, not letting anybody know they're in pain, and so they suffer through it, and ultimately they make whatever the problem is worse. So my number one crucial step is stop. Even if you just stop for 5 minutes, just drop it, stop what you're doing. If you're experiencing pain, do not push through it, because you need to protect this primary instrument, which is yourself. Your well-being is more important than any music you'll ever make. I feel very strongly about that. The self, your well-being, your mental, emotional, and physical well-being is invaluable. There is nothing on this earth that has more value than you, okay? And this is not just a platitude. This is the truth, the way I perceive it. And if you're not going to take care of yourself by paying attention to your primary instrument, this mind body that you live in, who is? There is nobody in this world that can take better care of you than you can potentially yourself, but you may not have the tools yet to fully be able to do that. So that's why tool number one, step number one is stop doing what you've been doing. Just stop. Just stop. Even if it's just for a few seconds, if you're on stage and you have a few rests in between things that you're playing, just stop. And then you can learn specific things to do in those rest moments to take care of yourself instead of going into your habitual thought patterns that take you down and hurt you, okay? So that's step number one, stop. Less is more, okay? Do not push through pain. You need to learn how to rest, even just for a few seconds. Sometimes you need days or weeks of rest if you've gone too far off the rails. But even a few seconds throughout the day, even a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes in the evening, to really, really practice the skill of self-care. And again, I have specific ways to help you with that are very quick and very powerful and very simple and easy. But they will help you undo the psychological and physical tension that ties you up in knots and causes pain, right? Number one, stop. Moving on to step number two of these 3 crucial steps for musicians in pain, you must take care of your mindset. All right, it's similar to number one where I say just stop everything. Just drop it all and practice non-doing. You must then take care of your mindset. And the first step to taking care of your mindset is increasing your self-observational skills. You must learn to become aware of what you're actually thinking, and even more important, or just as important, to become aware of how the specific thoughts that are going through your mind are affecting your body, right? This is crucial because we tend to blame our bodies when we're in pain, but the source of pain is never the body unless you have like a physical tear or a real physical problem that is literal in the anatomy, like a tendinitis, for instance. That's a physical problem. However, even if you have a physical problem, your mindset will either make it worse or make it better. Guaranteed. If you have a negative outlook that tends to worry, you are going to prevent the healing process and slow it down. You need to learn how to take care of your mindset and keeping it open and free and creative and trusting. That's a big word, trust. You need to trust that your system possesses an inner wisdom that knows how to self-heal when you get your ego and your personality and your negative thinking out of the way. This is a skill that needs to be learned, and it can be taught, okay? So if you're curious about learning more about how to take care of your mindset, I do want to share this link with you that gives you the basics, but a very powerful start to helping yourself take care of yourself, to get the negative stuff out of the way and start allowing your healing process to kick in and to optimize how quickly you can heal, all right? And that may be in conjunction with other medical care, depending on the severity of what you're dealing with. But most of the time, we're dealing with physical discomfort, soreness, aches, and pains that aren't serious, and which can be taken care of by the system's natural healing mechanisms. But our mindset is going to either allow that to happen or get in the way. So here is my Musician's Mindset Power Toolkit, which is a great way to start clearing the excess stuff that slows down your healing. And it's also a great way, by the way, to help you with performance anxiety and other issues that come up to prevent your getting to the next level as a musician. Helps with burnout too. Okay, step number 3, crucial steps for musicians in pain. You need to take it easy if you can. As I said in step number 1, stop and do less. Really, if you're used to practicing 3-4 hours a day, cut it down. Maybe take a few days off with no practicing at all. But don't worry about it, because the real true learning, the real practicing happens up here, not out here or out here or out here, right? Depending on what your instrument is. We create music, we create art in the whole mind, body, self, but it starts in the mind. So you can work on your instrument by taking care of yourself and cultivating a great imagination and working on whatever it is that you want to learn musically, or if you want to keep up your musical skills, or you're working on memorizing or preparing for a concert. A lot of people get really scared if they have pain close to with a concert coming up. So don't worry. The real work happens up here, and you do not need to use your physical body with your instrument if you're in pain. You don't have to worry about falling behind or not being ready for your concert if you do the mental work. That's where mental practice comes in. And again, there are very clear, specific, simple ways that you can learn to do mental practice that are going to actually improve your music making. Don't think of mental practice as something you just do when you don't want to use your body if you're in pain. Mental practice is a skill that is so powerful to raising your skill level, to getting better at anything that you do, regardless of your physical state. You actually want to incorporate mental practice as a regular part of what you do as a musician on a daily basis. So learn how to do mental practice and value it, and do not worry if you take time off with your physical body away from your instrument. I promise, I've worked with hundreds of musicians, and so many people are in pain, but when they take these 3 crucial steps to heart and act on the information that they then get from paying attention to themselves this way, then they get better quicker. and their skills improve at the same time. It's like a win-win-win situation if you take these ideas to heart. So those are my 3 crucial steps, and I would love to get your feedback on these. If anyone's got any thoughts, I am reading what's showing up here, so please share anything that you would like to share now. While I'm waiting for comments to pop up, I would just like to say hello to everybody coming on. Venche is here. Hello, it's great to have you back. And Barb and Elizabeth, thank you for watching. Thanks for being here with me live. I'm wondering if anybody out there right now is actually in the process of suffering from some physical pain or discomfort or soreness, achiness. Does it get worse when you play? Do you experience it in other situations? What makes it better? These are all questions that you can ask yourself if you're dealing with pain, because again, the first step to healing is self-observation, becoming more aware of what's actually happening, learning about what you're doing with your thinking and how your thoughts affect your body. So I would love to hear from anybody right now if you have, or if you've had pain in the past, how did you deal with it? Do you find that these thoughts that I'm giving you could be of use? Let's continue the conversation over in the Musicians Mind Body Practice Tribe. As I mentioned, if you're not a member there yet, it is my free Facebook group where we talk a lot about mind-body issues related to music making. Whether you're a professional who is worried about their career because things aren't quite doing what they want, what you want them to do in the body, or whether you're an amateur just starting out and you get sore all the time, it's all too common that we experience pain in the body or discomfort, and that pain and discomfort nearly always causes some stress. And this Alexander technique is the best way that I know to help us prevent that stress and to manage the pain and to get the healing mechanisms that are innate to us to flow along with our creativity. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. I also want to share with you one more thing before I leave. If you have not learned this yet, I highly recommend learning the cycle. It's a 2-minute etude that is the best warm-up ever. And if you do it regularly, I have my students do it twice a day, every day. And if you do it regularly, you'll see that it is an amazing way to undo excess tension and to calm the whole system, which is so, so important to do if you're in pain, because we get scared when we're in pain. And when you're scared, the body tightens up, and that actually prevents our healing. So you want to use this 2-minute etude to undo the stress and to get out of the fear, to trust your system and give yourself the time and the space inwardly to heal. Okay? So thanks again for being here, and I'll see you on over in the Musicians Mind Body Practice Tribe. Happy practicing, and do not hesitate to message me privately if you have any personal concerns that you would like some tips or advice on. I'm here to help, and I'm very happy to chat with you if you need a little bit of expert guidance. Okay? Thanks, and take care. Happy practicing, and lots of love always. Bye-bye.